there, Professor. But just a quick point as a lawyer, what she said on the hard talk, which is absolute rubbish. She says that she made the argument, or the interim order should be interpreted that the Palestinians have a plausible right to be protected from genocide. I mean, that's rubbish. You don't have a plausible right to be protected. You have an absolute right to be protected from genocide. And that's the argument she's making.
Well, I don't think she was making an argument. And I'm being very serious about that. This was a careerist, a wretched careerist who was trying to protect herself as she left the ICJ and is now looking for a job in the United States. The basic facts are very simple and they are irrefutable. The basic facts, let's work backwards. First of all, she didn't do anything. There was a vote on that, on those provisional measures. So it was 15 judges versus 2. It was 15 judges who signed on. And she had no business speaking for all 15 judges. But let's put that aside for a moment. Let's take the very essential, basic issue. Let's work backwards instead of forwards. The court issued provisional measures. Under the court's jurisprudence, you cannot issue provisional measures pertaining to the Genocide Convention, which is the only convention that was at stake in these hearings. It wasn't about the laws of war. It wasn't about IHL. It wasn't about war crimes. It wasn't about crimes against humanity. It was only about one thing. It was about genocide, the Genocide Convention. You cannot issue, on the basis of the court's jurisprudence, you can't issue provisional measures in a case around the Genocide Convention unless you have plausibly proven that Palestinian rights were at risk under the Genocide Convention. And the Palestinian rights couldn't have been at risk under the Genocide Convention unless Israel was plausibly committing genocide. That is so simple, so basic, so irrefutable. Once they indicated the provisional measures, it was an acknowledgement that Israel was plausibly committing genocide that put Palestinian rights under the Genocide Convention at risk, which is to say, Palestinians were facing a plausible genocide. If South Africa had not proven that, there couldn't have been provisional measures. That's the whole point. Now, the first provisional measure, the first one, if you look at your, no, you don't have it because you don't have the court order.
I've got it here. I've got my application here. I don't know if you could. You're looking at the screen, the relief that is sought by South Africa, right?
Right.
Let me see if I can share that. I may have it on me. Let's see if I can share it.
If you look at the first provisional order of the court, the very first provisional order, I'll just read it to you.
Yeah.
Okay, here. Article 2 of the Genocide Convention prohibits, Article 2 prohibits what is called acts of genocide. And there are several types of acts of genocide. There is outright killing, there is endangering the civilian population. I'm not going to go through it.
Yeah.
Article 2, the first provisional measure reads, the court considers that with regard to the situation described above in the court order, Israel must, in accordance with its obligations under the Genocide Convention in relation to Palestinians in Gaza, take all measures within its power to prevent the commission of all acts within the scope of Article 2 of this convention. That is to say, if the provisional measure states that Israel must take all measures so as to not breach Article 2, then South Africa must have demonstrated that there was a plausible danger.
It's the genocide.
That Israel was breaching Article 2. If there was no plausible danger that Israel was breaching Article 2, which prohibits acts of genocide, they could not have indicated that provisional measure. There has to be, according to court jurisprudence, there has to be a close link between the provisional measure and the right that's plausibly being violated. Well, what right was plausibly being violated? The right protected under Article 2 against acts of genocide. So her claim that we did not establish that Israel was plausibly committing genocide
ridiculous.
It's completely ridiculous, because then you couldn't have issued provisional measures to protect the Palestinians from what? To protect them from Article 2, acts of genocide.